I hope people can unmute and can just. Are they allowed?
Yes, Shashank, you can start.
No, I'm just asking for a quick round of introduction from everyone. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I'll allow the participants. Okay.
Sir, can I?
Please, ma'am.
Sir, I'm Farnaz Kazmi. I'm senior lecturer in mechanical engineering, and I am in Polytechnic Sundarnagar, that is in Himachal Pradesh.
Great to hear that, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for joining.
And it's really going too good, too well. I really appreciate all these things.
Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot.
Right.
I request you all to please, only the participant who is going to introduce himself or herself can unmute. Please rest, be muted. The request, please.
Right. So next one, please. Mr. Agarwal, would you like to say something?
Good morning, sir. I'm Jyoti Bala, lecturer electrical engineering from Government Polytechnic, Sundarnagar, Himachal Pradesh.
Very nice, ma'am. Great to meet you.
Very good morning, sir. Myself, Sudesh, an assistant professor in mechanical engineering, College of Engineering, Talasheri, Kerala.
Great to meet you, sir.
Okay,
Finally,
thank you, sir.
We have the people from Kerala, right? That's nice. We have set up a few charging stations at Kerala as well.
Yes, Cochin. It is there, sir. Cochin.
Yeah, in Thiruvananthapuram, one of the charging stations is Secretariat.
Yes,
and
okay.
a few others are underway.
Oh, okay, sir. It is fine to hear. All the sessions are nice and wonderful, knowledgeable only, sir. Very nice. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anil Kumar Bhatt. Anji Babu. Anuj Agarwal. Archana ma'am. Sir, Anil Kumar Bhatt, sir. You can introduce yourself, sir.
Yeah, hello, good morning. My name is Anil Kumar Bhatt. I am assistant professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering from NMAM Institute of Technology, Nitte Karkala.
Where is it, sir? The location?
It is in Karnataka, Karkala, near Udupi.
Great to hear that, sir. So must be very pleasant weather over there, right?
Pleasant, yes, but it is normally it is on the hotter
humid
side. Yeah,
okay.
Humid and hot also.
Right.
So temperatures around 32.
How far Bangalore it is from here?
From Bangalore, it is around 300 kilometers, 350 kilometers.
So it is the side of Hosur or other side?
It is towards the beach, means
towards the
sea. Yeah,
okay,
we are in western, near the Arabian Sea.
Okay, you are in the western side of Karnataka. Right? So must be touching this Goa, right, and Maharashtra.
Goa is north, so we are near south. So
okay, south.
Yeah. You can say we are near to Kerala. Tip of Kerala, top portion of Kerala.
Okay. Good to hear. Nice to meet you, sir.
Yeah, same here.
Anji Babu. Anuj Agarwal, Archana, Bharat Kumar, Brijendra Singh, Chitralekha, am I audible?
Yes, you are. I guess people. Right. So it's a very good check just to know if the participants are active or not.
Yeah.
That's why I did this, right?
Audible only, sir.
Dipanjan Das. So voluntarily you can come and introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. This is Shahinu Siddiqui from Allen House Institute of Technology, situated in Kanpur, and I belong to Electrical and Electronics Department, BTech.
Yeah, great to meet you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Same here, sir. Getting valuable knowledge from your side, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Good
sir.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm myself Dr. Vardhaman from BMS College of Engineering, Bangalore.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Vardhanam. How are you?
Fine, sir. Doing good. Same years.
So in Bangalore area, we have good about 12 to 15 charging stations which are active. You may visit. Can just experience the charging station.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mangesh ji.
This is Professor Mangesh Kale from Nutan Maharashtra Institute of Engineering and Technology, Pune.
Right,
Mechanical engineering.
Sir, your voice is disturbed, I guess. There is a problem with bandwidth.
That's right.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. This side Mani Bansal from DAV Institute of Engineering and Technology, Jalandhar, sir, from the Department of Electrical Engineering.
Great to meet you, sir.
Same here, sir. Same here, sir. Thank you so much.
Right. So...
Hello. Good morning, sir, and all the participants. Myself, Dr. Ram Singh Sara, Assistant Professor in Electrical Engineering Department from BHS BIT, Lairagaga District, Sangrur, Punjab State. Thank you, sir.
Great to meet you, sir. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir. Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Sadanand Kumar Malik, and I am from Oriental Institute of Science and Technology, situated at Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. And I am an assistant professor in the Department of Basic Science Physics Department. Actually, this session is related to the electric vehicle, concept of electric vehicle, but some concept of batteries like lithium cell, etc. that belongs to the portion of physics also. That's why it is actually very much interested for the basic science faculties, not only for the electrical or mechanical faculties.
Certainly,
so thank you very much.
It's always a physics, right? It is always a physics.
Hello. Hello.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Sharad Darshan, HC, Assistant Professor, Department of EEE, BMS, Evening College of Engineering, Bangalore, sir.
Great to meet you, sir.
To be, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning. May I audible?
Hello. Yeah, audible. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
Myself, Professor Vikanath Gogre. I am working as a head of the department in automobile engineering, Pravara Nagar. It is situated in Ahmednagar district of Maharashtra.
Right, sir. How are you? So
Hello.
how's the Ganpati and everything? Goes well?
Yes, sir.
Great, sir. Great to meet you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Hello.
Right, Krishna sir.
Yeah, myself Krishna Nimge from NIT, Nagpur Institute of Technology, situated
Right,
in
sir.
Nagpur, Maharashtra.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And from instrumentation.
Okay. I've been to Nagpur. I have visited a couple of places near.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm Bala Mageshwari. I'm assistant professor in RMK Engineering College.
Right, ma'am.
I'm in EEE department.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So myself, Dr. Tushar Patil. Am I audible, sir?
All right, sir. We can hear you.
Yes, I am from B.H. Raisoni Institute of Business Management, Jalgaon, affiliate to North Maharashtra University, Maharashtra.
Great to meet you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So we have good people from Maharashtra, Bangalore, MP, right? Nice to see this. We have a diversity of geography.
Yeah. I think we have covered every part of India.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Dr. N.V. Dandapani from Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore.
Oh, yeah. Nice, sir. Great to meet you. I've been to Coimbatore a couple of years back.
Okay,
It is a very, very nice place. I have a lot of memories when I visited that Sadhguru place, that Shiv temple.
Isha Yoga.
Isha Yoga, right.
Yes.
It is a very pleasant place.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Nice session, sir. Super. A lot of information I got it. Thank you, sir.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. Great to meet you.
Hello.
Right, sir. Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
We can hear you. Please.
Okay, sir. I am V. Paltrai from Lakshmi Mall Polytechnic College, KR Nagar, Thuthukudi district, Tamil Nadu. I am working as a head of the department in mechanical engineering department.
Right, sir. Great to meet you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good morning.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Myself, Padmavati K. I am from BMS College of Engineering, Bengaluru. I am from EEE department. Our students have developed electric auto. So that electric auto, actually our department has purchased from that group because they had spent money on doing that electric auto. So the department wants to further do research on that and develop that auto. That's the motto we are having in our department.
That's good, ma'am. So how's the journey? Like as in what kind of, it was a retrofitment project?
Yes, sir. They have did everything from scratch. They have designed all the parts. Only suspension they have purchased, which suits that. And it runs on a battery. That's all. There is no other this one. BLDC motor and a battery. It is not a hybrid one. We are thinking of developing a solar charger for that. As well as we want to bring in some communication features into that vehicle. And because of COVID only, the other junior students were unable to take it up. It was completed in 2019. But this year we are motivating the students to further continue on that project.
Very nice, ma'am. Great to meet you. Great to hear that people are so much active in this domain.
Yes, sir. It moves perfectly. Students have dropped the teachers from college to a metro station nearby, which is around 1 kilometer from the college. So it is working very well, very fine.
Very nice, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
We have So do we have anyone left with introduction?
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, this is Surat Pyari. I'm working as assistant professor at HKBK College of Engineering, Bangalore.
Great to meet you, ma'am.
There is a lot to learn from this workshop. I was thinking to do research on electric vehicle battery management system specifically. So yesterday's lecture, like Banu sir's lecture, was like I got an idea what we have to research and what we have to focus on. Thank you so much, sir.
Sure, look forward. Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Isha from Punjab Engineering College, Chandigarh. And thank you so much, sir, for such a wonderful session.
Right. Great to meet you, Isha ma'am.
Same here, sir.
Good morning, sir. Myself, Dr. Devendra Bashish from Manav Ratna International University, Faridabad. Sir, it's a great learning to be a part of this workshop.
Right, sir. Great to meet you. By the way, I'm very near to Manav Ratna. So I stay in Faridabad.
Nice, sir.
Nice. Mr. Prasanna.
DJ Prasanna Kumar sir has raised his hand. I think he wants to say something.
Yes, ma'am.
Prasanna Kumar sir.
You can unmute, sir, and can speak.
Shashank sir, I think we can start.
Okay, let's start. Whoever
So
is
I'm
left,
muting all other participants.
Right. So we can cover up in next session if anyone is left with intro, right?
Yeah.
So right, so we will come back again. Hi everyone, welcome to this next section in which we will be discussing about EV charging standard. Before going and jump into EV charging standards, I would continue my discussion on few aspects that we have touched upon but could not complete it. So pin diagrams of the guns has been explained by me. I hope do you have any doubt? You can just let me know, right? Or I'll then go forward. Right. So ma'am, I guess they can unmute anytime, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So anyone can just speak if anyone has a doubt. So, or I'll start.
And even if they write in chat, sir, I keep noticing that.
Please let me know.
Yeah.
Sir,
Between you can
I have
interrupt
a
me
question.
anytime. Yes, ma'am. Please.
Sir, in the morning session, you have told about mode 4 charging type, that is smart machine charging.
Right, ma'am.
Sir, can you please tell, is this commercially being used anywhere?
Yeah,
or is
it is. It is whatever I'm just telling you. It is all about commercialization product, right? So the concepts, the technology, all the things are commercialized. So when I just mentioned about the smart EV charging profile, so it is all about the backend part of it, wherein machine can communicate with the server with a standard protocol that is OCPP, right? And using that, it's a protocol which is based on JSON language, JSON 1.2J. So you are from computer science background?
No, sir, electrical background.
Okay, so you can just touch your people who belong to this domain. So this JSON language, particularly this protocol is written, and everything we are just using this. We are just, so there are data formats which are defined, right? And using those data formats, we are sending the data to the server. Right? So it is an open
cite some example where is it being used presently?
As a machine, when you start a charging process, let's consider a use case when you visit a charging station and you want to charge a vehicle, right? So you just plug in the gun, right? So there are two ways to operate this charging machine. One, you just there is a screen in the machine itself where a number of options will be there. From there you can navigate. Oh, second, you can use the machine through your mobile application. So when you will be using the machine through mobile application, so then this backend, that is communication, backend communication, cloud communication part will come in.
Okay.
And using that, you can just operate. Let's say you plug in your machine, you plug in your vehicle, you just click on the start charging, right? So it will start charging, right? It will count the session time, energy consumed by your vehicle. Then further, will give you all the updates, how much time it will take to get fully charged. Let's say, what is the SOC, what will be the price, the cost. So because it's a business ultimately, right?
Yes.
Energy dispensing business, I would say. So wherein you are selling the electricity, right, as a service. So it's a service to sell the electricity, right? And so there will be a cost, right? So the cost you can charge through that cloud computing method. So which are based on this protocol.
Thank you so much, sir.
Right. Right. So going forward, then another standard which is called CHAOJI. So it has been published in 2020 only by Japanese association. So part of CHAdeMO only. So the CHAdeMO organization has published this CHAOJI. So what is the benefit of CHAOJI? Let's consider that. So here you can see a comparison table, right? We have a connectors, lot of connectors, inlets, right? So we have this another inlet, which is another design, right? Correct. So on the power terms, so it can deliver up to 900 kilowatt. So 900 kilowatt you can deliver from this CHAOJI standard. The voltage is up to 1500 volt. The current is up to 600 amperes. So that's a huge, right? So that's the USP, one of the USP. And it comes with a backward compatibility. When I'm saying backward compatibility, so the communication, so backward compatibility, we drive a term interoperability. So interoperability, when multiple things can be connected to a single thing, right? With all the architecture and protocol aligned. So CHAOJI comes with that. CHAOJI has that capability to communicate with the CAN-based system as well as the PLC-based system, right? So certainly you would require an adapter, right? So let's say your vehicle comes with a CHAOJI connector, CHAOJI inlet, right? So then you need to have a connector cable, right? That connector cable will give you that compatibility, right? So that compatibility through which you can connect your any of these guns, that is you can see here, right? CHAdeMO, GBT, CCS1, CCS2, right? Any of the gun you can connect. And Tesla, yeah, Tesla has a different gun. So Tesla does everything different. So there's you can say the USP of the Tesla even, right? Or there's the technology it brings for electric vehicles. So the Tesla cars can be charged with Tesla charger only. So that's another irony. They cannot be charged with any other charger, right? So that's the limitation with Tesla cars. But in India, Tesla will come with CCS protocol, not with Tesla's own protocol. They have announced this. That's there, and they will use that. But this CHAOJI, which is another standard, will surpass in future probably if the adoption of the standard happens with all the OEMs, right? Because ultimately OEM is the key. When I'm saying the OEM, the car makers, the manufacturers of buses, trucks, right? So they are the key to drive what should be the best charging connector, right? Because accordingly they will provide the inlet, correct? The inlet in the vehicle. So if OEM adopted CHAOJI as a standard and provide the inlet of the CHAOJI, then one have to migrate, or the public charging infra operators have to migrate on CHAOJI. Otherwise, they don't have to, right? So that's the beauty, right? So there is a lot of technology transfer happens when an OEM putting up an inlet of CHAOJI, CCS, or GBT or CHAdeMO. So far so good. The Tata, Mahindra, and the other people like Hyundai, right? So they have adopted this CCS as a technology. They have done all the TOTs and everything, and now they want CCS to roll out. Initially, Tata and Mahindra have adopted GBT, that is Bharat, for their initial cars, like Tata Tigor initially was on this GBT protocol, GBT or the Bharat Charger protocol, and Mahindra e-Verito is also on the same protocol. Now Tata has migrated to CCS all the vehicles, that is Tata Nexon and Tata Tigor. So now it is on CCS, and Mahindra, this e-Verito has been stopped manufacturing. So now there will be no more e-Veritos. So in the way, or in the roadmap, this CCS is going to lead the market so far. So that's the learning from the market. Anyone want to say something?
So currently, which charging connectors are normally available in Indian market?
So one is the CCS.
A user can purchase. Which,
so in India market, CCS is available, GBT is available, and Type 2 is available on the AC side.
Okay, sir.
Can you unmute? Can you mute? Miss Priyanka? Can you mute Miss Priyanka? Right. So we were on the CHAOJI, and this is the CHAOJI specification. Right. So CHAOJI strength, high power, that is 900 kilowatt, 1500 volt, 600 ampere. Right. So there's the connector drawings you can see here. Right. So the compact, easy to use connector. So here you can see we have only very compact size, right? 2 pins, 2, and then another 3 pins, right? So total 5 pins you are operating, right? So it does mean less complicacy, right? So will help you to achieve greater efficiency in terms of architectural efficiency, right? So it has a backward compatibility with all the existing standards, right? It can work with CHAdeMO, GBT, CCS, right? Best safety levels. So it comes with a IEC and ISO and SAE defined safety measures. It has been tested with all the standard safety levels. So that's the CHAOG. So any question about CHAOG? Let me know. Right. I'm just moving. Right. Then we'll give you some insight about V2X. So what is V2X? That's another future of EV actually. I would say EV charging will work on V2X. V2X. So when here V is vehicle. So vehicle 2X. X is anything. When I'm saying anything, so what vehicle has? Vehicle is electric, right? So if vehicle is electric, then from vehicle if you can feed the electricity in the vehicle, so you can take out that electricity as well. So many people would have a question like, why would we need this to take out the charge from the vehicle? But your vehicle is an inverter basically. It's a battery, right? It's a power source. For example, in a hospital there is a cut, there is a grid shutdown, and you would require an emergency backup, and you don't have the enough capacity with your UPS. Then you can use your vehicle as a power source. That is V2X. Vehicle to grid, vehicle to home, vehicle to hospital, vehicle to everything. So it is a tried and tested technology. It has been implemented in Japan. Once in a while, a story has been happened in 2016. So there is a flood in Japan, a small flood, right? So the hospital was there, right? And that hospital, all the power lines has been hampered, and there was no supply, and there was a criticality of power. So even 2016, Japan has a good number of electric vehicles. So so what hospital have done? Hospital informed all the patients, that they can bring their EVs to hospital, and then hospital has already equipped with this V2X charger, right? So they connected all the EVs in line, and they back up the hospital for 4 to 6 hours. And all the critical and major operations of the hospital was smooth, right? So this vehicle, Mr. Ekant, can you unmute? So can you mute? Can you mute? Or you have some question to ask? Right. So this V2X, how it works? So the V2X, the vehicle to grid, basically. First, we will consider the vehicle to grid. So this charger is one of the Delta charger, which is under proto development for Indian application, but for outside it is running. It is under commercialization, and using that you can take the power from the battery of the vehicle. So the BMS has a dual compatibility. It will give you a DC. The DC will then further convert it to AC. So the V2X charger has an inverter in. So it has a so the charger will be same, right? But it will have a dual compatibility. It can convert. Sorry. It can convert AC into DC and DC into AC then. So the dual compatibility can be done. Let me make, right. So the dual compatibility with the charger is available, wherein it can take DC and convert it to AC, and it can also take AC and convert it to DC and then charge a vehicle. So this part is clear now, right? Then further, the charger itself can connect it to any AC distribution panel. The AC distribution panel, that is your local grid, right? Your local grid can be connected to this charger, and using the charger, you can then feed the electricity to any local grid. For example, I just given you the example of hospital, right? So you can connect the charger with the hospital grid. You can plug the vehicle to it, and then you can use that electricity, right? In similar ways, the same charger has this compatibility, because the charger is an inverter, right? So you can also connect the solar panel to the same charger and can feed that AC power to grid. So it could be optional, right? But that's the extended application of the V2X. So you would need V2X as a charger everywhere, correct? And these V2X chargers then give you that combined energy, that is battery from the vehicle and the solar, and can feed to grid. So you can imagine that ecosystem we can build using the V2X charger. So that's the beauty, actually. Correct. And as I told you, this charger is smart, right? It's a smart machine. So we have all the technology to monitor the power levels, to monitor everything. So, and it never happens like the V2X is very protected system. So it will never happen like your battery will drain out to zero. So there is a certain markups within the battery, right? Below which it cannot drain out. Let's say that by default markup is 30%. Before 30%, the battery will not be drained out. Correct. So now energy in one form is driving the ecosystem. When I'm saying the one form, so here only electrical energy we are using end to end. There is no fossil fuel. There is no mechanical energy that we are converting, right? From, let's say, burning the fossil fuel, right? We are not burning anything. We are just contributing to the nature. So that's the zero pollution system. Right. So that's about V2X. Anyone have any thought to share or any query? Please let me know.
Sir, in V2X charger, we can give supply to the battery to the electric vehicle, as well as you can supply from the electric vehicle to the other entities. So
yes,
in that process, there will be much power loss.
So
and efficiency.
You can say there will be a power loss, no doubt, but the power loss in the conversion process, right? So you
Yes,
are
sir.
converting DC into AC first, right? So DC, when you will be converting, so you can say, you can assume the power loss of 5 to 6%. So now the technology has been evolved, right? Even at Delta, we have more than 95% efficiency in conversion process in both way, DC to AC and AC to DC. So there's the technology is bringing.
Okay, sir.
Right. So moving forward. Yes, another thing which is dual gun charging. The dual gun charging, we have a chat message. Here IoT has used Mr. Satyajit. I said here IoT has been used perhaps. Yeah. So Mr. Satyajit, as I just mentioned, there's a backward compatible system that is which communicates back to the server cloud. So it is IoT only, but it is a real-time IoT. Right? It is all about real-time transaction, data transmission, reception, acknowledgement, response, command, everything. So
Yes, sir.
right, so it is always there. So right. So dual gun charging, right? So what happens now? The capacity of the battery vehicle get increased. Initially, it was 200 kWh in the case of buses. It get extended to 360 kWh, right? So just to charge the 360 kWh battery, you need a charger which can give you the 360 kilowatt power at any point of time, right? Otherwise, it will charge the battery slow. So initially, even the cost of the 360 kilowatt charger is high. So what happens, what they have done, what the industry adopts, they have converted, they have implemented two inlets in the bus. Two inlets where two different charger of low capacity, when I'm saying low capacity, can be connected. So let's say the battery is of 360 kW, right? Then you can connect to 180 kilowatt charger to single vehicle, that is bus. Understood my point? So there are two inlets. So here you can see it's a EV charger, it's an electric vehicle, right? In electric vehicle, now there are two inlets. One inlet, second inlet. So the first inlet, second inlet. So one inlet, EVCC 1, EVCC 2, it is electric vehicle control unit, communication and control 1, electric vehicle communication and control 2, right? One BMS, one battery, right? So what is happening? Here we have EV charger, two EV charger, one EV charger, second EV charger, or there are one charger with dual gun. It could be possible. So there are two possibilities here. You can connect two different charger or one charger with two different guns. Why? The question is why you would need to connect two different guns to one vehicle? Because of the power and because of the limitation of the current. The battery can take 400 ampere, but charging gun as a gun which is available, it can deliver up to 200 ampere gun. So what you will be doing, you will be delivering 200 ampere plus 200 ampere from two different guns to single vehicle. So the single vehicle will get charged from the two guns. It could be either from two different charger or the same charger with having two guns. So that's the dual gun charging technology. So any doubt in this? Right, please. I guess.
Sir, is it, sir?
Yeah, please.
Sir, will we have two connector points in this case?
Yes.
On the vehicle side?
On the vehicle side, two inlet will be there, right?
Okay, sir.
Right. On the vehicle side, we'll be having two inlet. On the charger side, we will be having two guns, either from different chargers or from the same charger. Right. So that's the dual gun charging, right? let's move forward. Right. So there's one of the concept has been brought by me to one of the DST committees. So there was a discussion going on interoperability. Right. So you can see there are 3 guns. So what I proposed, why cannot we have a single gun? Why do we have so many guns, so many connectors, so many inlets? People will get confused. They are going to confuse in future who will adopt the electric vehicle. What is the point to have these multiple connectors? Why cannot we universally have single connector? So even you would have thought of, right? So we should use a single connector. It could be CCS, it could be GBT, or it could be CHAdeMO. But the OEMs are reluctant. The car makers are reluctant to adopt a universal connector because that's their USP. They want to make themselves differentiate. They are not thinking about user. They are thinking about their ease of access, wherein they can get the technology easily. Let's say Tata gets the technology of CCS easily, so he will be using CCS. Mahindra got the technology of GBT easily, he will be using GBT. Nissan got the technology of CHAdeMO easily, he will be using CHAdeMO. But what about the users, the driver, the car owner? He need to find every time a different charger for their gun compatibility. He will be in trouble. He visit to one station, there is no CHAdeMO gun available. He visit to another station, there is no GBT gun available. He visit to any other station, there is no CCS gun available. Right. Sudeshji, you were saying something.
Guns, and that can be connected to the charging point.
Sorry? I could not understand. Can you please come again?
Sir, am I audible?
Yes, you are. I can hear you very well.
Is it possible to make a universal adapter that can match all the type of guns? Thereafter, that adapter can be.
Yes, yes. So that was the idea, Sudeshji, which I just presented. So that's the idea, right? Even you as a faculty in different domains can work upon this. There's a need. That could be your research paper, right? So I've written one, but I could not complete it because of time problem. I have a lot of research papers which are pending in half. I never completed a single research paper so far. I don't know why. So it happened always with me, right? So that is one of the research paper, right? So I did that a couple of years back. So the idea is to have that universal connector which is compatible with all the connectors which are available in the market. Anyone can bring any type of vehicle to that charger which has that universal capability to feed. Right. So the charger is having that universal connector inlet. If what I will do, I will provide an adapter cable which can be connected to that inlet which is universally acceptable, and other side will be the desired connector which is available at the vehicle. For example, we have a Hyundai Kona. It has a CCS, it will be having a CCS gun on one side. Second side, it will be having a my universal connector. So you can plug both and you can enjoy the charging. So in similar ways, it can be done with GBT, CHAdeMO, and so that's the broad concept of bringing a universal platform. It may be reduced today or tomorrow, right? It may be reduced.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right. So that's about the interoperability. So anyone would like to comment, let me know. If anyone have any idea, would love to discuss. So my approach is always to have an interactive session. So that's why I'm just asking you again and again. Right. So it helps everyone to improve their know-how, even me as an individual and you as a technocrat. Right. So I'm moving forward. Right. So there's a CCS2 communication pins. So more detail about CCS2. So then we have CP and PP. I told you CP function is PWM control line plus digital communication via PLC. PP is EV testing of the charging cable connection. So these are the CP and PP pins. Right. So using that. So you do both the things using these in CCS. Then in GBT, we have these different pins, right? So generally communication pins are the S plus and S minus, which are designated as a CAN high, CAN low. So it's a CAN bus, high level communication, right? Then we have CC1 and CC2. These are the CCS and CC1 and CC2 communication pins. It is being used for EV testing of charging cable connection, right? CC2 EVSE testing of charging cable connection. I'll do one thing. I'll quickly start the standard PPT, right? Because this we can cover in our EVSE wala. Would be more relevant, right? Right. Let me open that slide. Right. So you can see my slides, right? Right. So let's talk about the international EV charging standard first. Right. So there are a series of standards which are there for all the AC and DC chargers. So these are the charger standards. I'm not talking about the vehicle standards. Right. So they are the charger standard. So vehicle standards are different. Right. So we have AIS in India. We have AIS 140, 138, Part 1, Part 2, which are which defines the charging process within the vehicle. Right. But I'm talking about the international. So here I'm covering the IEC and ISO standards. Right. So starting from IEC 61851, which is a series, there are a lot of standards among these. 61851 -1 -21 -21.2 -23 -24 and lot of. They defines all the type of AC or DC charging stations. So IEC 61851 defines the general requirements of EV charging as a station all safety requirements, all generally in India we follow IEC 61851-23, right? So which actually now we have adopted it as a IES standard 17017-23. So I'll come to IES standard as well, Indian standards. So here we are
Thank you,
discussing the
sir. Thank you so
international.
much for conducting this Viva. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kothari sir. Thank you, Kamal Khan sir. And thank you, Dr. Ashish. Thank you so much.
Himani ji, our session is going on. Right. So I'm continuing. Right. So yeah, we were talking about the major international EV charging standards, right? So IEC 61851 series, which I'm talking about, defines all the general requirements of EV charging station. Then we have IEC 61851-3 series. -3 series is specifically designed for light electric vehicles like e-bike, e-scooter, mopeds, right? It gives you a general requirement of battery swapping, communication. There is different standard for battery swapping that I have covered, but here it is specifically for two-wheeler application. Very basic requirement like protection, safety, EMI, EMC. These are the requirements which has been covered under this, and the battery system requirement as well. Then we have a IES TS 61851-23-1, which is a pantograph charging standard for e-buses and trucks. Then we have IEC 62196. So in couple of slides, I will discuss IEC 62196 series in detail. Because it's a major series which defines the sockets and connectors basically of the charger, right? So that we will discuss in next few slides. Then we have IEC 62752, which is about the control and communication and protection for mode 2 charging. We have explained 4 modes, right? So in which mode 2, initially when IEC 61851 series were not introduced or was under draft, then 62752 was there and got published earlier than 61851. So that time this defines the mode 2 just for initial understanding, right? So it covers the general requirements in cable control and protection. So that component itself comes with your vehicle, or I would say that it is called code set charger. Right? Then we have 62893-1, 62893-2. These two IEC part standards talks about cables, including liquid cables. So I told you about 200 ampere or 250 ampere, we require liquid cooled cables, right? So these liquid cooled cables are defined under 62752 standard, right? So when we are talking about standard and liquid cooled cables, so it defines all the physical dimensions, measurement, temperature, liquid cooled technology and everything. It is all about that. So then we have low voltage switch gear and control assemblies, IEC 61439-7 and 60364, which defines for the internal switch gears. When I'm talking about the switch gears, it is MCCBs, it is MCBs, it is RCDs. So you know these terms, right? I'm just assuming that you know these terms very well. You can just interrupt me for any of these terms. So even I would tell you. So RCD is residual current device. RCCB, it is also called residual current circuit breaker. MCB is miniature current breaker. Right. SPD is surge protection device, right? These are the and then we have contactors, right? These are the few protection component which has to be there in every charger. Even you should be installed these devices at your home just to protect yourself from any shock. So these devices help you to protect your body from any shock, right? Then we have another functional safety and protection requirement for personal protection circuit requirement or power quality standard. So these are the standards which are being used for electrical connection when you take for EV charger. So these are the 61540, 62752, 61008, 61508, 17409 ISO standard, 61140 IEC, 61009 51-24. So these are the functional safety and protection standards. Then we have wireless charging standards as well, right? So which are IEC 61980 series, which defines the overall wireless charging system in terms of its magnetic EMI EMC compliance, magnetic power compliance, its communication, general safety requirements, and everything. So this is for wireless EV charging system. Then we have IEC 62840 series, which is battery swapping, which is related to battery swapping, right? So battery swapping requirement is being covered under 62840 series, right? So these are the standards which are available on IEC website. You can buy, purchase, and read any of the specific standard in which you want to work, right? So I've been part of TC Technical Committee 69 of IEC, where like there are many people who represents in this technical committee from India. So I've been part of that committee once, and bringing the information and the right technology to the platform. Right? So 62840 series, right? 62840-1-2. These are the battery swapping process. Right? Then we have IEC 61851-21 series, right? Then another 61000 series comes covers all the parts of it, and then AIS 138 part 1 and part 2. It is all about the EMI EMC, which is very necessary. So EMI EMC series defines these standards are being defined for EMI EMC, under which all the EMI EMC related safety measures has to be implemented within the charger as a system. Right. So there are a lot of standards actually. So within the industry, we follow most of them. We need to follow actually when we manufacture any product. So it's a part of product life cycle management, wherein we need to go through each and every standard, right? And then we pick up the clauses and implement those clauses over there to build a good quality charger and comply with all these standards, right? So then we have IEC 61851-24. DIN, yeah. IEC is another European-based agency. DIN is a German agency, like we have BIS, right? So DIN is for Germany, IEC for Europe. ISO, our international standards. So then 61851-24 and ISO 15118 series. So ISO 15118 defines all the heavy application charger. When I'm saying heavy application, all the heavy chargers, heavy vehicle chargers. It defines end-to-end the general requirements, safety requirements, right? And dash 24 specifically talks about digital communication. So this communication is happening, that PLC and CAN communication, which we have discussed, right? So the PLC and CAN communication between the vehicle and the charger happens with IEC, comes under 61851-24. Then we have Open Charge Point Protocol, OCPP, which talks about communication between EVSE and backend or utility or your DISCOM, right? Or your electricity supply company. So these are, then there is IEEE standards as well, which are OpenADR based. OpenADR is another standard which talks to grid. Your smart meter thing you must be hearing in your DESCOMs. There is a drive by DESCOM that a smart meter will be installed at each and every home, right? So the smart meter thing is being driven from there. The Open ADR 2.0 standard is being utilized, in which there is as in 61444 is another standard which defines this, but the communication happens from the smart meter to this using Open ADR. It talks about optimization of the grid. Right. So now we will talk about EV infrastructure Indian standards, right? These are the IS standards. So far, these are the updated list. This is the updated list, which is published from BIS, right? And here I have this segregated. I have segregated I have segregated all the category of the vehicle and the charger as per their voltage level, as per their usage level. And then further, what are the different standards are associated with them in order to comply, because we need to comply, right? So in order to comply, these are the different standards which are well written, sorry, with the specific class of the market. Right. So the light EV less than 120 volt, we have categorized, right? So the light EV less than 120 volt defines the charging device AC light EV, DC light EV. Power level less than 7 kilowatt. Device charging protocol. Just a minute, I'm just getting one call, right? Right. So sorry. Right. So we were discussing about the category. So light EV battery less than 120 volt, charging device AC light EV charger, DC light EV charger. Normal power is less than or around 7 kilowatt. Device and charging protocol comes under IES 17017-3 for AC light EV and IES 17017-25 for DC light EV. The communication between EV and EVSE defines with IES 17017-3, right? And so IES 17017-3 is recently published. We have been working since last year March, and it has been published by BIS now. I've been part of committee. For it's a low voltage AC light EV charging point. Then EV to EVSE communication IES 17017-25, right? Then infrastructure socket IES 60309, which is again published, right? And for infrastructure socket, there is no specified standard so far. IEC, it is available, which comes 61851, but with IES, it is under draft. For vehicle connector, IES 17017-2-6. So this is again the IEC adoption, that is 62196, IEC 62196-6. Then for cars and SUV, which are less than 500 volt, we have categorized AC park bay, DC park bay, and DC fast chargers, right? The normal power for park bays is 11 kilowatt to 22 kilowatt. 11 kilowatt will be single phase, 22 kilowatt will be three phase, right? DC fast charger from 50 kilowatt to 250 kilowatt. So the DC fast charger from 50 kilowatt to 250 kilowatt. The device and charging protocol comes is being included into 17017-1 and 17017-23. So 17017-23 is nothing but IEC 61851-23. We have adopted this, right? IEC standard. So here another standard, that is IES 15118 for smart charging profile. So IES 15118 is derived from ISO 15118. ISO 15118 is a standard, internationally recognized standard, for which we have adopted IES 15118 as an Indian standard. So it is for heavy charging application. So greater than or 500 volt or 1000 volt. Right? The same standard works in greater than 700 up to 1000 volt. The same standard we follow, right? You can see here. Then IES 17017-24, right? And IES 15118, again the same. Right? Then we have infrastructure socket standard for AC park bay, that is IES 017-2-2. So it is nothing but IEC 62196-2, which is type 2. The type 2 is AC. So just let me know if anywhere you feel confused or bored or any sort of, because standards are bored, right? No doubt in that. So you can just let me know, right? We can touch upon different topics anytime. Right. So I guess many of us have slept, huh? Right. So just continuing my job, right? So for vehicle connector, this as I just mentioned, IES 17017-2-2, which is IEC 62196-2, type 2 connector, right? And then we have IES 17017-4, that is park bay for DC park bay. So it is under draft, -4. So it is under draft. A group of people are working on included in that. Right? Then we have IES 17077-2-3, published 2020. So this is again IEC 62196-3. Then going forward with the high voltage application for e-buses and heavy vehicles, right? So we have a AC high power bus depots, DC charger, commercial station, dual gun, we explained, pantograph, I explained, so we read, we learned, right? So we have learned all the things as a category. Then the power level for AC high power up to 42 kilowatt, it is by default, the gun can sustain up to 44 kilowatt. As a standard, it is defined for 42 kilowatt, right? So DC charger, it starts from 50 kilowatt to 250 kilowatt. For high capacity application, high power application, it is from 250 kilowatt to 500 kilowatt, and it can go beyond that. So there is no limitation. So right now we have limited this, but it has a very versatile and vast opportunity to increase the power levels as the demand will get increased. Then again, these all are belongs to 17017 series, right? So you can see here. Then on the communication side, it is always 15118, right? So blindly you can follow two standards. You can write it down if you want. IEC 61851, IS 15118, yeah, ISO 15118. And for DC connector it's IEC 62196-2, test 3, test 6. So the complete series, if you will follow this, you will get all the standards. So you can implement, you can read, you can just make your system ready to compatible with these. Then we have IS 17017, other series of standards. So that's all about this. I guess we have touched this Indian standard. Then moving forward, we'll further talk about this. Right. So then there's the IS standards with their brief details. So starting from 17017 part 1, 2018, or we used to call it Bharat AC 0. Right. It defines the general requirements for both AC and DC up to 10 kilowatt, part 1. Then we have part 21, the same standard, EMC requirement for on-board charger, on AC EVs, AC EVCS. So it defines both things at the vehicle side or at the charger side. Then another part 21 defines off-board or DC EVCS. Off-board when the power is converting outside the vehicle. On-board when the power is converting inside the vehicle, right? Then we have another part 23, which is under publication, which is in derived form of 61851-23. Then we have part 24, which is under publication or under draft. It defines the control and communication between DC, EVSE and EV. Then part 2, standard for plug, socket, outlets, vehicle couplers, vehicle inlets. Then part 2, section 1, that it again defines the same things, and it's a part of adapted from 62196-1. And let me know if anyone want to know anything apart from written over here. Right. Then we have IS 17017 part 2. The standard is defined for plugs, socket, outlets, vehicle couplers, vehicle inlets, and part of 62196-2. So what we used to do when we adopt an IEC standard to Indian standard, we change few specification of it because the European environmental conditions are different and Indian environment conditions are different. So in order to have the better adoption or better feasibility, so we change the physical requirement of the standards. For example, if in European condition a product is developed or made to sustain with 45 degrees Celsius as a operating temperature. So in India, we will tweak 45 degree to 55 or 60 degrees Celsius, right? So because in India, the temperature in summer goes up to 50-55 degrees, right? So the charger should design in such a way that it should withstand up to 55 degrees Celsius without derating. So that we do in general. So in this manner, we adopt these standard IEC standards and we implement here and we tweak these modifications as a, just to more implicable or more practical in terms of our environment and practicality. So that's about the IS standard. We have few more. The same IS 15118 series, IS 17017. Then we have CEA regulations, right? So that I have already explained to you. Then here we will read now about 62196-62196 a general standard. So which talks about 62196 plugs, socket outlet, vehicle connectors, vehicle inlet, all about conductive charging connectors, defines requirements of the socket outlet vehicle connectors. Then 62196 not dash parts. So we have different parts: -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6. So right now it is up to -6, right? So -1 general requirements. So 62196 is all about the connectors, sockets, inlets of conductive charging. It defines the pins, number of pins, number of communication pins, number of power pins, number of their interchangeability, their compatibility, their dimensions, right? So their mechanisms, their thermal management, right? All about the physical architecture, from physical to electrical architecture of any connector, plug, socket, outlet, of any EVS, any charger, any machine related to EV charger. So it defines all that, right? So then covering 62196-3, which is actually required to understand. So 62196-3 describes the design of the DC charger connector. So as I mentioned you, IEC 62196-2 is a type 2 connector, right? And -3 is a connector which defines and drives all the configuration of the connectors. So we have these 6 configuration under 62196-3. A configuration initially, which is initially introduced under IEC 62196-3, which defines CHAdeMO. CHAdeMO connector, its electrical properties, its material properties, its dimensions, its weight, feasibility, its IP rating, and everything. So that's the CHAdeMO. BB, which is GBT, right? Which is GBT connector 22434-3 is a version. So BB of IEC 62196-3 defines GBT configuration as a connector, their design, their ambient ratings, their specification, their dimensions, and everything. CC and DD configurations are reserved. So why they are reserved? Because initially when we were going through the journey of manufacturing the connectors, so we could not thought of to extend the connectors for two-wheeler and three-wheeler, right? So because CHAdeMO starts everything in, let's say in 2019, 2009, 2010, right? So the first connector, so IEC adopted, IEC defined this CHAdeMO. Then GBT on the successor to CHAdeMO, right? So then GBT has been defined and BB configuration has been allotted. Then CC and DD has been never thought of, and some people argued that we should make a provision for two-wheeler and three-wheeler. So that time two-wheeler and three-wheeler configuration has been allotted to CC and DD, but due to the unorganized sector of two-wheeler and three-wheeler, these two configuration could not be published. But there is a backdoor entry by CCS.
Shashank.
Right.
Shashank.
Yes, please. Can you hear me?
There are two
Hello?
questions in chat.
Okay, let me see. We have, yes. Any standard related to CAN communication? So yeah, we have Mr. Nibho, sorry. Right. So any standard related to CAN communication inside EV. So for the CAN communication, these are the standard which I'm just mentioning. On the connector side, IEC 61196-3, which defines the CAN protocol, and other 61851-23, which defines CAN communication between EV and EVSE. It is not about EV actually. It is, we are talking about here charger to EVSE, EVSE to EV. So we are defining all the communication, CAN communication architecture from charger to vehicle, right? So the CAN communication, which is part of EVSE to EV, is defined by IEC 61851, ISO 15118, IES 17017-23, right? But now so far I understand your question, you are talking about inside EV. So inside EV, this is different automotive standard, which is defined by AIS, Automotive Indian Standards. So you can find out that standard in AIS 138, part 1 and part 2. So here you will get the information about this. Then Mr. Satyajit is saying, so these standards should be confirmed before purchase or designing the charger. Yes, these are the standards which one needs to follow in case you want to develop the charger, right? And then thereafter you can buy these standards from IEC website or Indian Standard website and can follow religiously in the development process. So you should, so because I have gone through all these standards, that's why I mentioned here, right? And so that's the benefit you are getting out of it. To attend this workshop, you are getting the knowledge, information, which was good about 3-year journey of mine, right? In a crux, basically, and without buying those heavy bundle documents, right? That's there. Correct. So coming back to our original point where I was discussing about CC and DD, I just told you that why it is resolved. Then going forward, EE and FF. So CCS1 and CCS2, right? CCS1, what is CCS1? CCS1 is nothing but it's a CCS type 1. Type 1 for US market, type 2 for Indian market or European market. So the CCS connector as a connector, it will be called CCS1 in European market. CCS2 as a connector, it will be called CCS2 in Europe, and it is being followed, right, in European and Indian market. Right. So that's all about standards. So right. So I have completed the standards part of it. Right. Let me know if any question is there from your side. We can discuss, we can brainstorm anytime. Then we can conclude the second session, I guess.
Yes, sir. Yes. So if there are no questions, we can have a lunch break.
I guess most
No
of
questions?
most of the participant has already done their lunch during the session. Right.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No,
Okay.
we are here only.
Okay,
That's
sir.
nice.
Okay. So no questions.
Right. I guess there is
Thanks for
nothing.
the wonderful session by Shashank.
Right.
So we'll meet again at 3 p.m.
Right. Let's catch up again, guys. Okay. Have a good lunch.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, Ji. Thank you.